Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Smells like bliss in the studio.
And the smell is all you need.
Oh, wow. It really works, Dr. Shealy. Dr. Shealy, are you blissed?
I am blessed.
Yeah, me too. So everyone all set, cocked, locked, blissed. Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We're delighted you're here. And we're going to broadcast 2 hours today from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. If you'd like to call Dr. Shealy, Dr. Norman Shealy, medical doctor, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. And we broadcast live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time through 11. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because if you're listening to this broadcast, it's carried in multiple locations throughout the country on what's referred to in the industry as tape delay. It's really digital delay, but it's called tape delay. And what that means is, so for example, if you're in Utah in Salt Lake City, and you're listening to AM 540 on the dial, you will hear us on tape delay during drive time, which is the 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock hours local time. And if you're listening to other stations, you'll hear us at different times throughout the day. So I just wanted to share that with our class. And there's a link to all of your instructors on the website at USAPREPARES.com. Dr. Shealy, I was looking up a term. I just wanted to make sure that I remember this correctly from, when I was maybe 10 or 11, 12 years old. And that word was congenital. And there are abnormalities and maladies that are considered congenital, which means from birth. Isn't that correct?
That is correct. And it means something happened while you were in the uterus, but congenital also includes things that could be genetic. Genetic means it came in your genes. Congenital means it came with you when you were born. So it includes both what happens in the uterus, but also your genes.
Mm-hmm. And then I looked up the term, and we all know what a liar is. L-I-A-R. It's just someone who cannot tell the truth. and then
we got one in the White House, among others, and running for the White House.
Well, that's exactly the point, Dr. Shealy. That's exactly it. So I looked up congenital liar. And according to the first result from the search engine, it says, in the vernacular, a congenital liar is someone who just cannot tell the truth. Let's see. Now, medical scientists tend to use the term congenital liar for those people who are genetically destined to be liars. And so my medical question, Dr. Shealy, is it possible that someone like Hillary Clinton, who all the time I've known of her, which is decades, people have said that she's a liar. She just does not tell the truth. And so there are so many other politicians who seem to have this same malady. Is
like
it possible
that
yes, and like Barry Soetoro, the other guy at the White House, the golfer.
I didn't have sex with that woman.
right. Yeah, William Jefferson Blythe Clinton, right? That guy. So, is it possible, seriously, that this is something that has happened that they got from birth? Is it really possible?
Oh, yes. And let's face it, there's another definition for these people. It's called sociopath.
Mm-hmm.
And when they murder you, it's called psychopath. And we seem to have a high history of unexplained murders in that particular dynasty that you're talking about.
Absolutely. In class, if you're new to this kind of discussion, if you just type in the word Arkancide, which is the combination of Arkansas and suicide, you'll see what we're talking about. If you type in the word Bill Clinton, deaths, you'll see what we're talking about. And there's so many of them. Last count was there was over 80 people who have died and surrounding the Clintons, and just a number of them, and people who were involved with them. And, Dr. Shealy, if you think about it, if you think about what the scandals that go on in the White House and the illicit sex and the salacious sex that happens around a guy like Bill Clinton, you think about the people who have to cover it up. Then you find out later that some of those people have died. You kind of wonder, wait, they were good friends of the president, but they're disposable. In the grand scheme of things, from a presidential level, those people, need to not talk. So I believe that they're considered disposable. And people surrounding these politicians at the highest level seem to die. Close friends of the presidents and governors and so forth. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to be a friend of Bill Clinton. I mean, it's dangerous.
Yeah, Arkancide is the favored method of getting rid of political enemies in the state of Arkansas.
There you go. Right.
It has been, and that began, by the way, didn't begin until Bill was in office.
Mm-hmm. So are you looking that up right now? Did you find out how many of them there are?
Oh, yeah, there's about 80.
Yeah.
That we know of.
Oh, yeah, right. So, and then the autopsies, of people who have been murdered, absolutely certainty. There's certainty in their murders, have been found to have committed suicide by the medical examiner. And so obviously the medical examiner's in on this as well. Just like with President John F. Kennedy, when he was assassinated, the Warren Commission figured out who did it and how it was done, and then after that, I remember reading that President Gerald Ford, who I met in person, up close, I spent about 15 minutes with him at the bank, where we were unveiling our latest IBM mainframe technology. And I remember standing next to him, thinking, this is the guy that was up close to the JFK assassination. He's the guy that changed the location of the bullet wound for JFK. Imagine that. So he just, with a stroke of the pen, he just made that change in the Warren report. So, I don't believe anything I hear from politicians, Dr. Shealy. Absolutely nothing. I mean, literally.
I agree.
I just don't believe it.
By definition, they are a congenital liars. Most of them. There might be 1 or 2% who are not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then, I'm sorry.
So when we consider whether we're going to vote or not, we need to take that into consideration. And if they've already been there, if they've already had a job in public office where we're paying them to represent us, which, we're paying them to do something that they're not doing, don't give them another chance. Don't give not one. And I've heard so many people, Dr. Shealy, say, "Oh yeah, all politicians are crooked, except for mine. My local guy, my guy is just great." Just like they say, cops are a lot of cops are bad, but not the ones I know. They're all really, really good guys. That can't be true. That absolutely can't be true. So the advice that I have for our class is never re-elect anyone, never. And that way you won't give them. Yeah.
We need a national. We need a new party.
Mm-hmm.
Never elect anyone more than once.
Yeah, absolutely.
The one office a life party.
I had a friend in Virginia who was in the postcard business. And he made a sign, and I stuck it on my refrigerator, and it said ABC. And below that it said, and this was in the 90s, it said, anybody but Clinton. What he meant was never reelect Clinton. And that was the beginning of, anybody would be better than Clinton. Anybody. Just randomly select someone. And sometimes I think that we might be better off if we just had a lottery and we just randomly selected people to be our representatives. You'd get plumbers, electricians, unemployed people. You'd get, housewives, mothers, people who sit behind computer screens and take appointments, maybe a couple fast food workers. And we would have a cross-section of America. And maybe that would be better than the ruling elite that we have. And when you think about it, Dr. Shealy, Obama was quoted as saying something like this. Now I'm paraphrasing. They're kicking me out. So yesterday's news was they're kicking him out. Now he doesn't want to go. He does not want to go. 8 years is not enough for him. He wants to continue playing golf, having people shine his shoes, cook his meals, press his clothes, help him get dressed in the morning. Whatever he feels like doing for that day, he can do. If he wants to fly over to Europe, whatever he wants to do, he just tells people and they jump. They jump to attention. And he likes that. And he doesn't want to go. He does not want to go back to the way it used to be, where maybe he'd have to work a little harder.
Vince?
Play a little less golf.
Vince, I want to mention something that in me tells me why people vote for this kind of nonsense. I got a note this morning, an email from a man who tells me he, quote, a month ago had what is unequivocally a transient ischemic attack. In other words, a mini stroke.
Yes.
He had a temporary right side paralysis, numbness, couldn't talk well, only lasted 20 minutes. He went to a doctor yesterday, a month later. They did some tests and said the EKG was normal. He then goes on to say he's 54, weighs 185 pounds, doesn't give me any height, but I'll bet he's overweight. Smokes 1 pack a day, drinks 4 regular Pepsi a day, grow my own food, eat pretty healthy. Can you recommend a doctor?
Hold that thought, Dr. Shealy.
Yeah.
We're going to come right back after these short commercial announcements. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the highest quality body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. Why would you go anywhere else? KD offers rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. And now introducing trauma pads. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free water filter for a limited time with any body armor package. Go to KDArmor.com. That's CATI armor.com. Come and take it.
Class Dr. Norman Shealy is with us, medical doctor, Surgeon of the Year, author of well over 30 books. And Dr. Shealy, we were talking about someone who you were talking with who smokes, I believe, 1 pack a day, 4 Pepsis a day, eats healthy, so he says, about 55 years old, and he had some TIAs, which are transient ischemic attacks, which are known in common vernacular as mini strokes. Please continue.
Well, and the reason I bring that up is that he votes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, to me, common sense says that he doesn't have a lot. Everybody in this country knows now that pop is poison and that smoking is dangerous to your health, period. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know what he told the doctor who only did an EKG and that was part of a workup, but he didn't have an adequate workup. He should have had, for instance, among other things, an ultrasound of his carotid arteries. He should have been immediately told, if you want to live, you've got to quit smoking and come off the pop, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, if one has the essential habits for health, no smoking, no fat, that is, no fat weight in yourself, not overweight, 5 or more servings of fruits and vegetables a day, and exercise 30 minutes, 5 days a week, they've got common sense. They theoretically could be expected to vote with common sense. Mm-hmm. If they don't have those habits, if you can't trust them to take care of themselves, how can you trust them to do anything?
It's a really good point.
You and I are in the 3% of Americans who have the basic habits. 97% don't have common sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No wonder the political situation sucks.
Yeah,
Sorry.
And it reminds me, Dr. Shealy, that I need to put a sign on our front door and our back door that says, if you support Hillary Clinton, leave now. Well,
I'm with you, son.
But I'm absolutely, Dr. Shealy, I'm absolutely serious, because Hillary Clinton wants to remove from my possession tools that I use here on the farm. I need to protect our cows from predators, and she wants to remove those tools. She wants to increase taxes, which will help remove other tools and help flush our farm down the drain. Literally, she wants to increase taxes. She's going the wrong way. She has no idea what life is like when she goes and speaks for an hour or 45 minutes and gets $250,000 for a speech. Or her husband goes and collects $250,000 for an hour speech. Now, obviously, there's prep time and there's transportation, but I'm sure that's all provided. But these people have no idea what it's like working for a living. No idea.
I wouldn't give 2 cents to hear either one of them.
Mm-hmm. Michelle Obama came to Springfield, Missouri a couple years ago, and as a member of the media, I could have applied to go and see her. And I was thinking she was going to a Walmart, and she was going to talk about eating healthy. And so I was online, and I was filling out this form, and I typed in my name, and I thought, no, I must be out of my mind. Why would I want to go see her and be subject to snipers on the roof and having one of those guys say, oh, that's Finelli over there, that's him. Why would I want to do that? So I just exited out. And, I thought, what a waste of time it would be to see Michelle Obama at a Walmart talking about eating healthy. The only interest I had in it was to see how choreographed that event would be, and to see how they blocked traffic for probably 4 or 6 blocks surrounding that particular Walmart so nobody could get in or out, total gridlock. I wanted to see that firsthand, what that would be like, when Michelle Obama came to town, how much havoc she would cause for the rest of us and how much commerce she would shut down just by showing up. I really wanted to see that. And I wanted to see how Walmart would take, and she was going to be in the produce section. I want to see how they'd redecorate the produce department to throw out anything that wasn't perfect for the camera. Oh, boy. Dr. Shealy, when we come back, can we talk about something I consider pretty serious? A young boy was killed on the world's tallest water slide in Kansas City, Kansas. And, I'd like to talk about these thrill rides and these near-death experience rides. We'll be right back.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA pack technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon. Or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, you might not sleep so well. But now, SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. It kills 99.9% of all CPAP germs, and it's completely hands-free. For a limited time, you can try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Just call 1-800-952-2797.
SoClean changed the CPAP experience for the better. My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean destroys CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs, and it eliminates the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. There's no water, chemicals, or disassembly. Just pop in your mask, close the lid, and presto! Your CPAP system is clean and fresh in minutes. Call SoClean.com to try it risk-free at home for 30 days. This is a limited-time offer, only available by calling 1-800-952-2797. That's 1-800-952-2797.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, a place for mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Think about this. Your community's aging water infrastructure systems are very likely to be contaminated with heavy metals like lead, disinfection chemicals like ammonia, chlorine, and chloramines, and pharmaceuticals like statins, pain meds, and antidepressants. And no, water treatment plants are not equipped to filter these pharmaceutical toxins out. Protect your family's water supply with the trusted Big Berkey water filter. New NSF EPA-certified lab tests show Big Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria, and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification, and our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Class Dr. Norman Shealy's with us, and if you'd like to go to his website, it's normshealy.com, NORMSHEALY.com. And that's the place where you can sign up for his free multiple times per week newsletter, the same one that I receive. And your email address won't be sold. It's just used for you to receive the newsletter. And you can peruse some of the medical advice that's available to you absolutely free right there at normshealy.com. Dr. Shealy, let me preface this story that I'd like to read in a minute with what I do and practices here at the farm. So yesterday, after the broadcast, I was looking forward to getting on an 85 horsepower tractor, and it's 3 steps up to climb into this tractor, and so it's a fairly large tractor, and I was going to mow several fields with a batwing mower. So, class, if you want to know what a batwing mower is, you've seen them on the interstates. There are these mowers that look like a large triangle. They're 15 feet wide, and they have these floating 5-foot wings. So it's a 5-foot mower attached to another 5-foot mower attached to another 5-foot mower, but it's all one piece, and it has these wings that float up and down. So if you're traveling on uneven terrain, the mower will follow the contour of the land. So it's a big, heavy mower. And so when I get ready to use one of these mowers, I check everything. I check the nuts, the bolts, the wheels, make sure everything's greased. I check the drive shafts to make sure that the drive shaft that runs this heavy mower, multiple 1,000-pound mower, the drive shaft won't come flying up and kill me. So I mean, I go through a lot of pre-flight checks, if you want to call it that. Now, let's contrast that, Dr. Shealy, with this article. It's on kansascity.com, and it says son of Kansas lawmaker dies on a water slide at a water park in Kansas City, Kansas. And it says it was elected officials' day, Sunday, that's last Sunday, at the water park in Kansas City, Kansas. And the place teemed with lawmakers and their families who received free admission and lunch and a day of fun. But by mid-afternoon, the joy came to a horrible end when the 10-year-old son of a Kansas state representative from this area of Kansas, died at a 17-story tall water slide, the tallest water slide in the world. So what happened was this young man got on this water slide and got in this little raft, if you will, that's controlled, and they have weight. There's a weight bracket that has to have so many pounds of weight in this water slide, in this raft. And so he got on it, and something happened, and he was decapitated. Literally, his head was cut off. And there's not a lot of news of exactly what happened, but he's dead. The question I have for you, Dr. Shealy, and it's a medical question, and that is near-death experiences. Is there something in our makeup, our physical, mental makeup, that wants us to experience near-death experiences but survive them? You know, like we can get on this roller coaster, which could be a really fast roller coaster and will scare us almost to death, or one of these rides where you get in it and you fall almost at the point where you feel like you're going to die, but you don't, or those rides that really scare us. Is there something medically that we can point to that causes us to want to do that? Because I don't want to do that. And maybe I'm defective in that I don't want to do those
you're
things.
normal. Some people crave an adrenal rush. They get essentially addicted to the feeling of, threat, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so when you say addicted, does that mean that they will get on this ride and they'll come off shaking and say, "Oh man, I can't believe it! That was terrifying. I'm going to get back in line and do it again." I mean,
right?
Is that what you mean by?
Yep, I do indeed mean that. I mean exactly that.
Well, I don't. It's not part of my makeup. I remember when I was younger, getting on a small roller coaster, and I said, "Well, that's it for that." I mean, you look at these rides, and you look at all the failure points, and you look at the structure, the bearings, the wheels, the cables, and you look at the guy who's running the ride. You go, "Wow!" I mean, how much training does that guy have? And did he really look at it? And are these nuts and bolts and screws all tight? Are there any cracks? Are they inspected? Does anyone even care? And I guess, there aren't a lot of accidents, but but when they are, they're pretty horrific. I guess like flying. But I don't want to be part of it. I just,
well,
why sign up
I'm
for
with
that?
you. I think, it's like people who do the race car stuff. That's crazy. To be quite honest, but look at people who play football and wrestle and box. I mean, those are not healthy activities. They carry striking risks, and anyone with, good, well-rounded common sense won't do them.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay, he had been hit so many times he could hardly, put a sentence together, right?
Right.
Right. And there's a television show that my wife used to like to watch, and it was called it was Walker, the Texas Ranger show, and I used to call him the 3-word man. And the reason I called him the 3-word man is because most of his lines were like 3 words or less. And I said to Mrs. Finelli, that's because he can't remember his lines. He's been hit so many times, he can't do it. And so his lines would be, "Yep, uh-huh, them, get them, yep." And that's because, how could he survive being kicked that many times in the head, punched that many times in the face, thrown that many times down without having concussions and broken bones and blood clots. How is that possible, Dr. Shealy? Is it possible?
It's not.
Yeah. Yep. So when I think about, young people playing football in high school, I think, wow, what are their parents thinking? I'm all for athletics, I'm all for health, and I'm all for fitness. But man, crashing into each other and having a coach say, okay, I want you guys to hit him low, I want you to hit him hard, I want you to take him down. And that's the other, that's our coach. And the other coach is saying the same thing. And these young people are really getting banged up. Really banged up. Why? Why? Because they think they're going to play pro?
We're back to that same thing that I mentioned earlier. Common sense, the uncommon commodity. Somehow we need to teach people, and I don't know how you do it, common sense. Theoretically, it comes from your parents. Now, interestingly, my father was a great football fan, but he would not let me go out for football because he didn't want me to get injured.
Yeah.
And of course, by the time I had kids, being a neurosurgeon, I didn't want my kids to play football because the risk to your brain, your spine, it's just too great.
When our children were growing up, Dr. Shealy, I wanted them to learn about traction. I wanted them to learn about friction. I wanted them to learn about skidding, steering, braking, and those kinds of things. So when they were all young, I bought a used motorcycle. And it was a Honda 50Z, a 50cc, little tiny motorcycle. I mean, very, very tiny. And so a 4 or 5 year old could ride it. And I taught our youngest son at age 4 how to ride this motorcycle. And the reason I did that was so he would learn about what it's like to slide and learn about braking and traction and so forth. So all of our children were taught how to ride we'll call it a dirt bike motorcycle on the farm. Now, one of our children wanted to ride a motorcycle on the road. And I said, absolutely not. And one of them wanted to race, in like a dirt bike type race, motocross. I said, absolutely not. And so my thought was, you can ride around on the farm, but you can't do stupid things in the presence of other stupid people who have, very little concern about whether they cause you to wreck and break your neck or back or whatever, bones. So I wasn't interested, nor would I allow our children to compete in those kinds of activities. And when one of our children was 10, he wanted, because he was homeschooled, he thought that there was a Santa Claus. And so he put on this list that he wanted to get a Humvee, and I thought he was talking about like a remote-controlled Humvee, which, I really wasn't interested in. And he said, no, I'm talking about a real Humvee. And I said, well, it's not going to happen. But maybe your mother and father can find a used old Jeep that needs lots of work, and maybe we can get that, and you can work on it and ride it around for a while, and then once it's fixed up, ultimately sell it. And that's what we did. We found him a Jeep, and he was 10 years old, and it needed a lot of work. And he fixed it up, and he sold some of the parts that came with it and on eBay, and then he bought, some other parts to go with it, like a trailer hitch, and he rode around the farm for years. And then ultimately, when it came time for him to operate a motor vehicle on the road, he was not allowed to operate that Jeep on the road. Why? Because it didn't have doors. It had it had a canvas top with canvas doors. They weren't doors as far as I'm concerned. And Jeep has, one skin. It's not multiple skins of steel, and it's unsafe. So he couldn't ride it, and we sold the Jeep. But your parents, Dr. Shealy, I think what you're saying is parents need to be responsible for the activities that their children are involved in, and supervise them, and pay attention, right?
Absolutely.
All right. We come back. Let's
Exercise
talk about
and
salt.
deep breathing gets oxygen into the blood, but does not guarantee you get oxygen into your 372 trillion cells. Largely, the essential fatty acids, alpha-linolenic and linoleic acids, control oxygen transfer from the blood to the cells. These essential fatty acids are called essential because they must be obtained from the diet on a regular basis. Many people are aware of the value of supplementing with flax or hemp seed oil. What most people don't know is that due to current methods of pressing, all these oils are significantly damaged and oxidized by the time you consume them. What everyone needs to know is that there are new seed oils on the market that are pressed in a manner that protects the oils from damage and oxidation. Even athletes get cancer, which means that despite their abundant oxygen uptake into the blood, the transfer of oxygen into the cells is not occurring. I invite you to try the Andreas seed oils and see for yourself what a difference you can feel in energy, reduction of appetite, and well-being. Call 888-988-3325 or visit sacredseedoils.com. That's sacredseedoils.com.
Can your vitamin supplements positively affect your blood in 5 minutes? Protovite can. Protovite is a genuine breakthrough liquid daily nutrition that delivers quality ingredients into your blood in less than 5 minutes. Scientifically proven and backed by clinical studies, Protovite supports energy, vitality, and optimal health. Watch our 2-minute live blood cell video and see for yourself at vninc.com/prohealth. That's vninc.com/prohealth.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Injury Help Desk is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisements. Services may not be available in all states. Attention prescription antibiotic drug users. Have you or a loved one suffered an aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm after taking the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avelox? These popular antibiotic drugs have been prescribed more than 80 million times since 2004, and medical studies show an increased risk of the following injuries: aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, and abdominal aortic aneurysm. If you or a loved one used the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avelox and suffered from aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-823-3851, 800-823-3851, 800-823-3851.
Attention backpackers on a budget. Why spend $80 to $300 to pump clean survival water? Introducing the Viva Water Pump Kit from Viva Outdoor Products. Super easy to use and super lightweight at only 6.5 ounces, the Viva Water Pump Kit provides high flow rate at 1 ounce per stroke, can be one-hand pumped, and is dependable and affordable at only $24.99, filter not included. Get your Viva Water Pump Kit at viba-odp.com from Viva Outdoor Products.
To a professional trader in precious metals, the key is spot price. Spot price is market price, what gold or silver actually costs on the exchange. Regular people looking to invest never get spot price because resellers add fees for everything: refining, minting, brokerage costs, commissions. The public is never offered spot price until now. In a limited new customer outreach, JM Bullion offers you the chance to own a 10-ounce bar of pure silver at spot price. No fees, commissions, markups, not even a shipping cost. Now, through JM Bullion, own the most real investment of all at real cost. Not a piece of paper from Wall Street or a bank. A 10-ounce bar of silver at spot price. That's a solid investment. But you must act now. Go online to realpricesilver.com for this limited time offer. That's realpricesilver.com. realpricesilver.com. Limit one offer per household, 50 United States only. Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
Dr. Shealy, I've heard lots of opinions on salt. Some medical professionals will say, well, salt your food to taste. So if you like it, with a lot of salt on it, go ahead. Others will say, no, you got to be really careful because as you get older, increased salt can increase your blood pressure, which might not be a good idea because of water retention. What are your thoughts about salt, why it does what it does, and how much do we need?
Well, interestingly, for as long as I know, and before I was in medical school, physicians have been attacking salt as saying don't eat more than a half a teaspoon a day. But a study done in Great Britain in 133,000 people found that for people who are not hypertensive, up to 7.5 grams, that's a whole bunch, 3 times the recommended daily intake, is safe. And for people with hypertension, up to 500 milligrams, which is twice the recommended day, is safe. So, personally, I think moderate salt use is fine. I tend to use not a lot of salt, but if I want salt, shake it on. I like it on a lot of meat. Almost all meat, in my opinion, needs salt, and a lot of vegetables and some eggs. And I do prefer Himalayan salt because it has 3% trace minerals. But, regular iodized salt is also okay.
Okay, you mentioned eggs and meat, and I put salt on eggs and meat as well, and also corn on the cob.
Right. Yes, I agree.
Some heirloom corn that we grow here, and also on tomatoes. I can't think of eating, fresh tomatoes right out of the garden without salt. I can't think of how I would do that. So I put salt on them. But is it possible, Dr. Shealy, to oversalt if a person is hypertensive?
About it. When you go above 7.5 grams a day, most people are going to get into trouble.
Okay. And what would the symptoms of that be, Dr. Shealy, having too much salt? Because if you look at canned food,
thirst, increased thirst would be one. The other would be it could actually unequivocally cause hypertension when you don't ordinarily have it.
Okay. And hypertension, you're talking about high blood pressure?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So if one does consume too much salt, is the remedy just time? What do you do if he's, I just had too much salt, I'm hypertensive? Is there something that you should do immediately?
Lie down and drink lots of water.
Okay. So pee it out. Okay. All right. And what about those salt substitutes that I don't hear much about now, but I used to hear about salt substitutes, maybe a couple decades ago.
Yeah, primarily that's potassium bicarbonate, and apparently we need about 4,500 milligrams of potassium a day, which is a huge amount compared to sodium. Potassium is one of the major ions for keeping our cells healthy.
Okay, so would that be something that you would recommend we consider instead of salt, or not? Or do you want to think about it?
If you don't eat 5 servings of vegetables a day, unequivocal. If you eat 5 servings of fruits and vegetables combined a day, you probably don't need it.
Okay. Very good. When we come back, Dr. Shealy, may we talk about surgery and what to think about, before surgery, questions to ask your doctor, anesthesiologist, things like that before surgery, and then also concerns about the process. What are the risks of surgery? And then in that same line of thinking, what about if a person has a transplant? Let's say a kidney transplant, and the kidney comes from someone 20 years older than the person that's receiving the kidney. Do these things have a life expectancy? I mean, it'd be interesting to talk about. Norm Shealy and I will be... Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked, blissed. Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com with Dr. Norman Shealy. And if you'd like to call us, we'll pay for the call. 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. Dr. Shealy, I was looking at the news during the commercials that we just heard here on GCN, and there's radar online, and it's like father, like daughter. And here's what it says: explosive video, Malaya Obama caught on camera smoking pot. So here we have right from the White House the daughter of the president smoking dope. And there's a video of it. She was at a concert, and I posted that.
What do you expect from a lying, pot-smoking, psychopathic, narcissistic Muslim?
Yeah. And what could he say? What could he say? Hey, don't do as I do. I mean, what could that guy, the golfer, possibly say to his daughter?
Good on you, girl. Go for it, like I did.
So, there are two classes. There's, them that want to tell everybody what to do, and then there's the rest of us who don't like being told what to do by a bunch of people who are two-faced and congenital liars. So I just wanted to share that, Dr. Shealy. There's let's see, let me get to that post. Okay.
I think it's still illegal, by the way, isn't it?
In most places it is.
I mean, where she lives, yeah.
Oh, in the District of Criminals, yeah.
So,
yeah, but they have their own police department called the Capitol Police, and
I know,
and their primary job is to
avoid
cover up. Well, cover up things that would normally get the rest of us arrested. So,
Exactly.
if there's murder or mayhem or whatever these government bureau rats do, or these elected people do, or selected for election people do, that we're not allowed to do, it's easily covered up by the Capitol Police. So, Dr. Shealy, there's an article about people who have received transplants, and there's a woman. She was in her 20s when she got an organ from someone who was 57. So already the organ for transplant was 57 years old, and it went into a person in her 20s. So the question I have is: there is that the weak link in the chain, receiving a transplant organ from someone who is twice the age of the recipient? Are there concerns about that, or do the organs adapt and maybe hit a reset button and say, well, I'm in a 20-something-year-old, even though I'm a 57-year-old organ. Let's start over at 20-something years.
Well, that's a very interesting question, of course, and I don't know that we know the answer. Personally, of course, my own feeling is I don't mind dying. I don't like the idea of being poisoned for the rest of my life. And so there is no circumstance under which I would have any organ transplanted into this body at any age. And the reason for that is that once you've had that done, you're going to be on immune-suppressing drugs, including cortisone and sometimes even stronger stuff, that suppress your immune system to keep you from rejecting the transplanted organ for the rest of your life. And that increases your risk for infections. It increases your risk for other cancers to develop. I would not do it. I'm not saying people shouldn't. This is like whether you play football or not. To me, everybody has to make his or her own choice about that, but I would not do it, period.
So, Dr.
But then I wouldn't take most drugs of any kind.
Right. And when you talked about the immune-suppressing drugs, my understanding is that you can't, when you have one of these transplants, you can't get a lifetime supply of them, so that you are literally on a life support of getting those drugs every 30 days or every 90 days, depending on how your doctor will write the prescription. So if it's every 30 days and you run out, on day 31, is that the beginning of your demise? Because you don't.
Well, it depends on how rapidly, but it's certainly the beginning of a problem. Missing a day, you probably are not going to die from it, but you could get sick.
And that can spiral down to the point where you can't get well again. Is that right? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
You get sicker and sicker?
Exactly.
Yeah. And so, Dr. Shealy, when we talk about surgery, it's pretty serious, isn't it? I mean, you're literally brought by the anesthesiologist, as I understand it, just to the good side of death, right? So you don't feel the pain. Is that true?
Yes. And the great, actually, for a significant number of surgical procedures, the greatest risk is the anesthesia itself. But obviously, there are additional risks depending on what organ and and the experience of the surgeon and everything else. And there is a place for surgery. Please do not misunderstand my not wanting an organ transplant. But there's an appendicitis to me, for instance. That's a great operation if you've got appendicitis. Interestingly, they're exploring again giving antibiotics for a full month instead of taking out the appendix. Now, here's an interesting dilemma to me. Antibiotics for a month carries phenomenal risk to your life for a long time after the month is over. I personally would rather have my appendix out.
And Dr. Shealy, as people are listening to this, they're probably saying, yeah, but there's no knife involved with antibiotics. Boy, it sounds like, a painless way to go. Just pop a couple of these capsules, once or twice a day for 30 days. Boy, it sounds a lot better than going under the knife, Dr. Shealy.
And I saw a woman yesterday who, here we are 5 years later, after 1 month of antibiotics, and her gut, her intestines have never returned to normal. She has something called collagenous colitis and gas and poor digestion and can only eat one or two things. Antibiotics for a month is a serious, serious problem.
Including amoxicillin that some doctors have prescribed for acne, Dr. Shealy?
Oh, yes. Or tetracycline, which they've also prescribed for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that's absolutely correct. I know people who have had those prescriptions, amoxicillin and tetracycline for acne.
Exactly.
So, Dr. Shealy, if a person has acne, just live with it and outgrow it. Is that the plan?
Well, personally, wash your face twice a day. Don't eat a lot of fat. Don't eat any sugar. There are things that can help immensely. Again, personally, I would not take antibiotics to prevent acne.
Mm-hmm. And the antibiotics that are circling or traveling throughout the globe as a result of we feed them to cows. I mean, I don't, but so many farmers do give them to their livestock. And then don't those antibiotics end up in the ground, in the water supply, as a result of urine and feces and so forth from those who take the antibiotics?
Yep. You're right on.
All right. Then the next question, Dr. Shealy, is: does that mean that we are likely to get antibiotics whether we want them or not from the food supply?
Well, if you buy most commercial chicken and a lot of professional pork, yes. Because, interestingly, antibiotics fed to those two animals especially increase their weight gain. So they put on not the best kind of weight, but it increases it. It makes the farmer get more out of the weight than he or she paid in antibiotics, but it's passed on to you as making you sensitive, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't believe in those things. I think they're not safe.
Dr. Shealy, several years ago, we went to buy some chicks from the hatchery, and so right where the eggs are hatched, and these little chicks are available for sale, and you can get all kinds of chicks. I mean, any type you want, and so we got 6, and we needed some feed for the chicks, and right there at the hatchery, they've got these piles of bags of 50 pounds of feed for these little baby chicks. And I said, do you have any without antibiotics?
Didn't know what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, because that would be rare. That would be uncommon that you would feed chicks, chick feed without antibiotics. And then once they're raised, if you want to get feed for laying hens, you have to specially request that doesn't have antibiotics in it as well, because the common feed, the one that's most often sold, is with antibiotics.
Right.
And it's like standard. You want the standard feed? Okay, and they don't even tell you that it has antibiotics, but that's the standard. So I guess the point to the wise in class is that if you're raising chickens, obviously you want them to eat the bugs outside if they're free range, and they can eat the grasses and the bugs and so forth. But you may want to opt for chicken feed without antibiotics. Now, if you want to feed them scratch, with corn, that's another problem, because that's probably GMO corn. And then, of course, you're going to eat the eggs that the chickens have eaten GMO corn, and that's not good. So It's a dilemma. It's a dilemma. So you might have to grow your own heirloom corn for your chickens. We'll be right back. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com. 720-432-6433. 720-432-6433.
My computer is so slow, it's making me crazy.
I used to have that problem.
Did you quit using a computer, or did you buy a new one?
No, I called Geeks On Site. They made an appointment to visit my home and showed up the same day.
You mean they didn't ask you to bring your computer to a shop? That's what happened when I called a support company.
Geeks On Site can go to your home or business or even repair your computer online. They have 24/7 emergency service.
If you are having problems with your PC or Mac, call Geeks On Site, 1-800-591-1682. Our friendly certified computer repair experts are available 24/7. Call now for a free diagnosis, 1-800-591-1682. Data recovery, virus removal, and maintenance for all laptops, desktops, printers, and networks. That's Geeks On Site for friendly certified computer repair experts, available 24/7 over the phone or in your home or business. Just call 1-800-591-1682. That's 1-800-591-1682, 1-800-591-1682. 1682.
In these uncertain times, it makes sense to have a sustainable backup method to cook food and boil water. If your current plan includes using a fuel-burning stove or cooking over an open fire, then there's a much better way. The Minuteman Rocket Stove is a biomass-burning cooking stove that only requires small quantities of sticks and twigs for fuel. The Minuteman Stove is easy to use, smokeless, portable, powerful, and sustainable. For the finest in survival cooking stoves and fire starters made right here in the USA, go to MinutemanStove.com. That's MinutemanStove.com.
To a professional trader in precious metals, the key is spot price. Spot price is market price, what gold or silver actually costs on the exchange. Regular people looking to invest never get spot price because resellers add fees for everything. Refining, minting, brokerage costs, commissions. The public is never offered spot price until now. In a limited new customer outreach, JM Bullion offers you the chance to own a 10-ounce bar of pure silver at spot price. No fees, commissions, markups, not even a shipping cost. Now, through JM Bullion, own the most real investment of all at real cost. Not a piece of paper from Wall Street or a bank. A 10-ounce bar of silver at spot price. That's a solid investment. But you must act now. Go online to realpricesilver.com for this limited time offer. That's realpricesilver.com. realpricesilver.com. Limit on offer per household, 50 United States only.
Can your vitamin supplements positively affect your blood in 5 minutes? Protovite can. Protovite is a genuine breakthrough liquid daily nutrition that delivers quality ingredients into your blood in less than 5 minutes. Scientifically proven and backed by clinical studies, Protovite supports energy, vitality, and optimal health. Watch our 2-minute live blood cell video and see for yourself at vninc.com/prohealth. That's vninc.com/prohealth.
Dr. Shealy, we were talking about surgery and the anesthesiologist and the surgeon and so forth. And what should we be thinking about for someone who may be considering necessary surgery, but it might be 2 weeks off that they're scheduled for it? What questions do you think they should ask of their surgeon, of their anesthesiologist, to be prepared for what's going to happen during surgery, what the risks are, and what's going to be like after they have their surgery?
Well, you've asked the most important questions, but also the surgeon, almost certainly, if you've seen the surgeon hopefully a week before or more, will have told you certain supplements have to be stopped because there's certain supplements that can cause excess bleeding during surgery, like aspirin, for instance. It's not a supplement, but a lot of people take it. Vitamin E increases your risk of excess bleeding. There are a number of things that the surgeon is likely to tell you to stop taking before. Now, in my opinion, ideally, you would be taking at least 10 milligrams of astaxanthine daily, 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C daily, 25 milligrams of vitamin B complex daily, and 3 of the Kyani Sunset for the vitamin E. That particular tocotrienol in the small dose should not be a problem. But those improve your immune system, so it makes the surgery, a little bit safer.
And how about after surgery, Dr. Shealy? You mentioned aspirin. Now, isn't aspirin a blood thinner?
Oh, yes. That's why you shouldn't take it for a week before surgery, so that you don't have excess bleeding. After surgery, on the other, once you're out of the operating room, theoretically, within a day, it's safe to start taking aspirin again.
And do you recommend that, after the surgery, that a person consider taking aspirin and at some dosage to prevent blood clots? Is that the point?
That's one of them, because you do want to decrease blood clotting, especially in arteries or veins, as you are less active after surgery.
Okay, and what dosage would you recommend, Dr. Shealy? And would it be daily?
One aspirin a day is probably adequate for that.
Okay, all right. Would you recommend less than an aspirin a day? I mean, make like a half an aspirin, or?
Well, that's of course the recommended thing to prevent strokes and heart disease to some extent. But I think one a day is safe after surgery.
Okay,
and starting the next day, not the day of surgery.
Sure. So astaxanthine, vitamin C, vitamin B complex, and possibly an aspirin. Okay.
Right.
Anything and what about foods that that we were told were blood builders, like spinach? Is that something that we should consider taking more of than we normally might have? Because who likes spinach? I mean, almost nobody, right?
Yeah, biggie. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Lots of things I'm not sure about.
Okay. Well, Dr. Shealy, this week I just had this curiosity, and we talked about it this week with Captain John Regan, but I wanted to share this with you. So I went to the internet and I looked up Springfield, Missouri. And I went to Wikipedia and I was looking up the top employers. Now, this actually relates to medicine. It may not on the surface, but it will in just a couple seconds. Let me explain this. So I looked up the top 10, or actually 12, employers in the city of Springfield. And there are about 166,000 people in Springfield, Missouri, according to Wikipedia. Number one employer is Mercy Health System. We refer to as Merciless. That's
been true for many years.
Number one employer. Number two is Cox Health, and they're smaller, but they're still number two. Number three is Walmart. Number four is the Springfield Public Schools. Number 5, Missouri State University. 6, Bass Pro Shops. Number 7, the United States government. 8, the state of Missouri. Number 9, Citizens Memorial Healthcare. Number 10, the city of Springfield. Now, the reason I'm mentioning that is government and health are really big employers in the city of Springfield. And let's talk about that when we come back.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
We all have heard about the benefits of fish oils, but what about the presence of heavy metals, PCBs, dioxins, furans, and other contaminants found in fatty tissues of fish? GCNteam.com recognizes this risk and offers IFOS certified tested omega-3 fatty acids. EPA, DHA insist on IFOS omega-3 fatty acid certification. Get the best at GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203.
People who can afford a LASIK procedure sure are lucky. Imagine being able to throw away your contacts and glasses. Imagine waking up tomorrow with 20/20 vision. Too bad everyone can't afford LASIK. Well, guess what? There's a company that agrees with you. The LASIK Vision Institute is now offering dramatically low prices on high-quality LASIK to make it affordable for everyone. That means you get the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology for a fraction of what others charge. And if you call right now, we'll schedule a free appointment so you can discover if LASIK is right for you. Results may vary. Call 1-800-725-2487. Even better, if you're one of the first 100 callers, ask about an extra 20% discount off our already low-cost services. We've already performed over 1 million procedures. Let us help you. Discover how you can get the quality LASIK experience you deserve at a fraction of what others charge. For your free appointment, call 1-800-725-2487. 1-800-725-2487.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Is negative content or comments on the web affecting your personal or professional reputation? Unfavorable comments, embarrassing pictures, videos, legal documents, and negative articles can ruin your personal life, your career, or your business. It happens a lot, and it's just not fair. But what can you do? ReputationDefender.com can help protect your good name. Get a free consultation now. Call 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Call right now for a free expert reputation analysis. It's easy to squash the unfair attacks with our patented system, and the analysis is absolutely free. Make the best things about you jump out in searches. Protect your personal and professional reputation, your business, and your income. Get your free reputation analysis from ReputationDefender.com right now. Call 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com today. Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Class, we're broadcasting 2 hours today with Dr. Norman Shealy, medical doctor. His website is normshealy.com, NORMSHEALY. Springfield.com. Jim in California will be with you in just a moment. I wanted to finish up this short discussion with Dr. Shealy about the top 10 employers in Springfield, Missouri. Number 1, Mercy Health Care System. Number 2, Cox Health. And half of the top 10 largest employers, the top employers in Springfield, Missouri, are government-related, meaning Springfield Public Schools, Missouri State University, the United States government, the state of Missouri, and the city of Springfield. So half of the top 10 are government employers. But the top 2 are Mercy Health System and Cox Health. Dr. Shealy, the question I have for you is, number 1 and number 2 employers in the city are hospital and healthcare. Does that indicate that we are sicker than ever? Because I can't imagine, the top employers of cities being health systems, hospitals.
Well,
surgery.
imagine it, and nationally, it's pretty similar. In other words, because people have crummy health habits. Remember, John Knowles published this in the late 70s. 99% of people are born healthy and become unhealthy because of human misbehavior. In other words, Vincent, if people just took care of themselves, had common sense to not be fat, not smoke, eat right, and exercise moderately, we would cut disease care a minimum of 75%. 75% of all illnesses are sloppy health habits.
So, Dr. Shealy, are we saying that if common sense were to prevail, that the Mercy Health System and Cox Health Systems would fall from number 1 and number 2 to a much lower status because common sense would limit their customers from showing up? Okay. Jim in California, welcome.
Hello?
Jim in California, you're on with...
Can't hear you.
Yeah. Jim, are you there?
Yes, I am. Dr. Shealy, good morning. Thank you.
A little louder, Jim.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I've got my wife's blood test, and she also had a scan, and the scan showed mild wall thickening, and also in the artery light. Where is it? Anyway, she's got some kind of calcification in the heart arteries.
That is, how old is she?
Almost 70.
Yeah, I would say that at least 90% of women and 100% of men practically by their age have some calcification in the arteries. Does she have any symptoms?
No, not really symptoms.
Well, personally, we've been looking at reversing that slowly with wearing crushed sapphire crystals over the heart. Now, I'm not at a stage that I can say unequivocally it works. All I can say is the 2 people who've done it for a minimum of 6 months have had significant decreases in calcification in the arteries. The only other thing that I know that can help reverse this is something called ECP, or external counterpulsation. Now, it takes 35 treatments of that. It's not going to be covered by Medicare because cardiac surgeons have scammed the public and Medicare into not paying for ECP unless you're too sick to have coronary bypass surgery. In other words, they are, in my opinion, as bad as the big banks and the feds, because if ECP is good for people who are too sick for coronary bypass surgery, it sure should be for everybody else.
Right. Yeah.
And it's going to cost, I don't know, it'll probably cost anywhere from $4,000 to $5,000 to get 35 treatments of ECP, and I'm not sure one should without symptoms. In other words, there are other things one can do, like take lecithin, take trimethylglycine. These are things that help decrease atherosclerosis. Meanwhile, I'm wearing my cardiac, my crushed sapphire pouch because my calcium in the most important artery, the LAD, which is called the widow's artery because it kills you more often than any other. Mine went from 67 to 0 in that one artery. So that's just another approach, but it's not guaranteed at this point.
Okay. Well, she's got, they talk about moderate coronary artery calcification in atherosclerosis. And her blood test, she's got fairly high cholesterol.
Ah, okay. Now that unequivocally, in my opinion, she needs to be on lecithin granules, 2 heaping tablespoons twice a day.
Okay.
She needs to be on trimethylglycine, 1,000 milligrams with each meal, and beta-sitosterol, sitosterol, 400 milligrams with each meal. Now, statistically speaking, if she will do those 3 things, recheck her cholesterol in 4 to 5 weeks, and it ought to be in pretty good shape.
Okay, excellent. The total was 218, the HDL 53, and the LDL 150.
Okay, so LDL is the one that's really out of balance, but that's not that bad. I'll give you 90+% odds you can bring it under control with those 3 things that I mentioned.
Okay. It was trimethylglycine, TMG, as in George. TMG, okay. Very good. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Hey, thanks for calling. Great question.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Jim. Dr. Shealy, that was trimethylglycine, 1,000 milligrams with each meal, right?
Right.
So that's 3 times a day.
Right.
Then lecithin, 2 heaping tablespoons twice a day. Is that with food or without?
Well, no, put it in water or juice. Doesn't matter whether you take it with food, but it has to be diluted.
Okay. And then beta, what was that? Beta?
Sitosterol, Sitosterol. It's an extract for certain vegetables.
Okay. And what was the recommended?
400 milligrams each meal. I would say that what I just suggested is about 1 billion times safer and several hundred times better than a statin drug.
Okay. And Dr. Shealy, so then is this something that most of us who are over 50 should consider taking anyway?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I've been on this almost half my life.
Okay. Are there any downside, any concerns, any complications?
An occasional person might get the trimethylglycine in a rare individual can cause a little, not diarrhea, but irritation of the gut. But it's very rare.
Okay. And we're talking about reducing the calcification. Overall, is that the plan?
Well, you're reducing, quote, atherosclerosis and cholesterol, yes.
Okay. All right. We've got Miguel in South Carolina. He's got a question for Dr. Shealy. Welcome, Miguel.
Where in South Carolina?
I live in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Okay. Well, I was born in Columbia, so I know South Carolina. Go for it.
Yeah, not too far from me. Dr. Shealy, I got a couple of questions. So one is on the cholesterol level. I heard so many things, and lately I heard different opinions that a cholesterol level that is below 200 is not good especially for men, because that's the testosterone level. It drops down, and that can even cause to cancer and other illnesses. And that a 230 level will be good. So
well, actually, wait a minute. Okay, let me react to that. In my opinion, the ideal cholesterol is 130 up to 200. Above 200 does carry risks.
Okay, that's what I want to know. I mean, my cholesterol level always been 209 since I was young. I am 60 and it still is the same. My physician told me don't worry about it. as long as you keep it like that, it's good. I mean, I am very healthy thanks to the Lord and my diet and all, and my exercise. But my other question is, what is good? I mean, I know I hear people, I want this and that for keeping a good testosterone level, but on the maintenance part, I mean, what will a person be looking to eat? I ensure that there might be some food that is good for keeping your testosterone level in an optimal level. So what would you recommend for somebody to eat?
Well, honestly, I don't know food that is particularly good for testosterone. There are supplements that are excellent. The supplements that are excellent primarily are TestoJack, TESTO-JACK 200.
Is that available on your website?
TestoJack 200, 4 of those a day.
Okay.
Secondly, men's, MEN', virility, 2 a day.
Okay.
And then natural progesterone cream. Natural progesterone cream is one of the things that helps you make testosterone.
Okay.
And so those are the 3 things that I recommend for men, sometime between over 50 and 60 years of age.
Are those products available at your website?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
And I've been on them for years, and at 83, I'm still as horny as I was at 20.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Vince. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miguel. We'll be right back.
Today, I became a biophoton woman. I put a tablespoon of the Andreas 5-seed oil in my morning's One World Way drink and was still happy and energized at 3 p.m. Normally, I feel tired and spacey at the end of the day, but today I felt energy and very clear. My friend at the farmer's market asked what I was on. She said my eyes looked bright and I had unusual energy for that time of afternoon. I told her there was a magical oil that enabled my body to absorb the sun's energy as if I were a plant. She said, I want some. A second One World Way shake with the oil when I got home took me to bedtime with that wonderful, abundant energy. I couldn't believe how much I got done and how great I felt. The combination of One World Way and 5-seed oil produced a significant health event in my life, the kind that makes you feel you've been given your life back with a bonus, and I'm 64.
5-seed oil in One World Way. For your fantastic health, call 888-988-3325 or visit sacredseedoils.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pileski of the Pileski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Injury Help Desk is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention prescription antibiotic drug users. Have you or a loved one suffered an aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm after taking the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avelox? These popular antibiotic drugs have been prescribed more than 80 million times since 2004, and medical studies show an increased risk of the following injuries: aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, and abdominal aortic aneurysm. If you or a loved one used the prescription antibiotic drugs Levaquin or Avelox and suffered from aortic dissection, aortic aneurysm, or abdominal aortic aneurysm, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-823-3851. 800-823-3851. 800-823-3851.
Attention backpackers on a budget. Why spend $80 to $300 to pump clean survival water? Introducing the Viba Water Pump Kit from Viba Outdoor Products. Super easy to use and super lightweight at only 6.5 ounces, the Viba Water Pump Kit provides high flow rate at 1 ounce per stroke, can be one-hand pumped, and is dependable and affordable at only $24.99. Filter not included. Get your Viba Water Pump Kit at viba-odp.com from Viba Outdoor Products.
Extendivite, a 7-herb combination of garlic, cayenne, hawthorn, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, valerian, and milk thistle. Extendivite is designed to strengthen the heart and arteries and help the body heal itself. Doctors are not able to explain the improvements they are seeing in their patients' health who are taking Extendivite. People who once needed more pills are now taking less and getting better. Due to the unexplainable improvements in their patients' health, more doctors are calling to order Extendivite for themselves. Help Extendivite make your doctor a believer. Extendivite is available in capsule or liquid form for just $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To get started, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Like to visit his website, sign up for his newsletter, normshealy.com, NORMSHEALY.com. Dr. Shealy, I was reading an article, and it's titled Hunting Mysterious Environmental Toxins, and it says PFAS is a group of environmental toxins which have been observed in almost every organism and every ecosystem in the entire world, including humans, but no one understands how they enter the body. And PFA stands for polyfluoroalkyl. It's in food wrappers, clothing, pots, pans. It's linked to cancer. And they say that it comes from some of the fire retardant chemicals that are sprayed on fires. It's near military bases when they do their drills for putting out fires. And the worst states for this in the water system are California, New Jersey, North Carolina, Alabama, Florida, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Georgia, Minnesota, Arizona, Massachusetts, Illinois, and New York. Let me repeat those. California, New Jersey, North Carolina, Alabama, Florida, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Georgia, Minnesota, Arizona, Massachusetts, Illinois, and New York. And that's PFAS. Have you done any research about that, Dr. Shealy?
Well, I only have read about it and know that, it's really part of the Teflon, plastic, pesticide. It's part of that whole broad family of poisons. There are 550,000 different chemical poisons released in the environment every year around the world.
We don't use Teflon cooking utensils in this house and haven't for a very long time.
Never have.
Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Very good. Kyle in Montana. I've got just a couple short minutes left. Welcome.
Yep, I realize that. Hey, Dr. Shealy, Miguel got me thinking about something. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and he was talking about, he was wondering, his wife is around 53, and he said her libido has just completely tanked. And I'm wondering, he got me thinking there's something for men's testosterone level, but what about women's?
Almost all women need two things, Air Bliss and natural progesterone cream after menopause.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, natural progesterone cream and Air Bliss.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's all I had. Thanks, Vince. Great program as usual.
Thank you.
You put a smile on a lot of guys' faces, Kyle.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, there'll be a big order coming in soon.
So, Kyle, I won't give out your phone number because otherwise you'd be overwhelmed with thank you calls. So,
hey, remember, I'm a big Wilhelm Reich believer. Anyone who goes 3 months without an orgasm goes insane.
Boy, I totally agree with you. Yep, that's a big fact. Yep. Plus, they say, if a man has sex like 3 times a month, they said that it increases his lifespan. I was wondering what you thought about that.
Well, I thought 3 times a week is better, but that's okay.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That was a government report. But,
right.
Anyway, I think it has more to do with a decent relationship with your wife than anything.
Right. And yes, definitely.
Kyle, thank you so much for calling in.
Sure. You bet. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.
If more of us would exercise common sense, I think we'd be so much better off.
Yep.
In everything that we do. And so we learned a new term today, congenital liar, and that applies to politicians, especially to Hillary, who I believe is a congenital liar. Dr. Shealy, thank you so much for being with us and spending 2 hours a week with us here on Wednesdays at USA Prepares.
Thank you,
Class above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to goberkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.